How do we think about AI design at nodes and links? Now, I'm not talking here about how we think about coding in terms of X comes before Y or Y become before X. What I'm thinking about here is how do we actually think about AI design for you? How do we decide what to build and what not to build? And not is the most crucial question. And the answer to that comes with an understanding of what a role is. So this is the framework pretty much of every single role in humanity. Now, I've just taken this as an example. It's a role profile of the evolution of a scheduler from a graduate or a trainee to an individual contributor to a manager to a strategic leader, where you'd be looking at things like policy across the organization, training and hiring, etc. And what characterizes every single role that I've ever seen is that every role is a collection of responsibilities. You hire someone to be responsible for something. Responsibilities are delivered via workflows. So for example, if you have the responsibility for monthly reporting, you will have a workflow where you collect data, analyze data, create report, have it checked and verified, send report out, maybe give a presentation. That is a workflow. And workflows are comprised of tasks. And it is at the task level that technology automates. This is that flow. Artificial intelligence is just another technology. It is a new tool that we have. Before we had lots and lots of tools that could automate our muscles. Now we have tools that can automate the mind. And yes, things like keyboards, etc., are actually partially ways of automating muscle because they automate you having to write to you having to type, etc. Now, if something's typing for you, that is automation of the mind. Now, what we do here is look at all of the workflows, all of the tasks, and we figure out where it is beneficial for artificial intelligence to come in and beneficial to you. How does it save you time, give you a better answer, or make you look better? Those are essentially the three criteria. And I'll give an example of this. So a quantitative schedule risk analysis. Some of you might not be familiar with this, but it's generally the process of how you do a risk analysis on a schedule. The process is like this. You prep the schedule. If you've got a large schedule, 50,000 line items, a planner would prep a smaller schedule, something like 500 line items. People would then manually assign the inputs of the analysis, which is uncertainty. So they'd say duration wobbles and risk events. They'd then run a simulation. They'd then take that output and decide what to do with it. So commercial can take the output and decide what to contract with it, and risk management and project managers could take the output and decide how to de-risk the project or accelerate it. And then that process would be repeated in a periodic sequence. With artificial intelligence, we save time. So we don't need to summarize 50,000 line schedules because AI can deal with volume of data very easily. It saves us time. Using past data and machine learning, we can recommend uncertainty distributions and risk events so that we're automating elements of that point in the process. But we're not saying what they exactly are, because part of this process is that there's a workshop held and people gain agreement and understanding. That is more important than actually the underlying answer. There's then automations around reporting and writing of the findings. And because that entire process, which can take hundreds of hours, can now take 10, 20 hours, it can be repeated much more frequently to the benefit of the project. AI automates tasks. You bring tasks into workflows and design workflows to deliver responsibilities, and there are many responsibilities. And it is that exact fact why AI can never do a project controller's job or a project scheduler or a cost manager or a risk manager. It's because there are activities that actually are required to exist in the real world. Social interaction, for example. And this is part of that system that you'll now start to look at when you go through the courses in action. This, for a 20-day duration activity, the AI is suggesting an actual duration of 22 days. but I can turn it off and I can tell it to shut up if I want to. You are in control. You are in charge. AI serves us as humans. It does not dictate to us. And that is a core principle of nodes and links. And we can come on to some of the core morals and beliefs that we have in a moment.